Hello everyone. Today's video is about famous celebrities who changed their names. Let's subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Bad Bunny was born as Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, but rose to fame with a bold alias. Frank Ocean, originally Christopher Edwin Bro, reinvented himself with a smooth and mysterious new identity. Youngblood, born Dominic Richard Harrison, adopted a punk-inspired name that matched his rebellious music style. Ice-T's birth name was Tracy Lauren Marrow, but his stage name brought cold street credibility. RZA, born Robert Fitzgerald Diggs, found power and mystique in a name inspired by martial arts. Logic was originally Sir Robert Bryson Hall II, but shortened it for lyrical clarity and catchiness. Hopsin, once Marcus Jamal Hopsin, created a name that screamed underground intensity and bold expression. Childish Gambino, aka Donald McKinley Glover Jr., got his stage name from a Wu-Tang generator. Travis Scott, born Jock Berman Webster II, crafted a name that felt iconic and easy to chant. Tyga's real name is Michael Ray Stevenson, but he chose something sleeker for a modern rap career. Akon, born Alion Damala Badera Akon Thiam, used his middle name to create a global music brand. Machine Gun Kelly, once Colson Baker, picked a name with bite and rebellious energy for his persona. Jay-Z, born Sean Corey Carter, evolved from his mentor's name and turned it into a global brand. Eminem, originally Marshall Bruce Mathers III, used his initials to build a rap icon with edge. Post Malone, whose real name is Austin Richard Post, created his stage name using a name generator. MF Doom, born Daniel Dummel, wore a mask and a villainous name to protect his identity and art. Mac Miller was Malcolm James McCormick, but his soft, catchy stage name suited his musical style. Jeezy, born J. Wayne Jenkins, used a streetwise nickname that resonated in the world of Southern rap. G-Eazy's birth name was Gerald Earl Gillum, but his stage name added cool, effortless charisma. Dean Martin, originally Dino Paul Crocetti, changed his name to fit Hollywood's glamorous expectations. Kirk Douglas was born Isser Danielovich, but adopted a classic American name for the silver screen. Rock Hudson, whose real name was Roy Harold Scherer Jr., needed a strong name for Hollywood success. Cary Grant's birth name was Archibald Alec Leach, but he transformed into a symbol of elegance. Freddie Mercury, born Farrokh Bulsara, chose a name that matched his theatrical, powerful rock persona. Bob Dylan was Robert Allen Zimmerman, but became a cultural icon with a poetic and memorable name. Martin Sheen, originally Ramon Antonio Gerardo Estevez, adopted a more Hollywood-friendly name for acting opportunities. Charlie Sheen was born Carlos Erwin Estevez, following in his father's footsteps with an English stage name. Tom Cruise, born Thomas Cruise Maypother IV, dropped the lengthy surname for a sharper, heroic name. Meat Loaf, whose real name was Marvin Leaday, created a name that stood out in rock. Iggy Pop was originally James Newell Osterberg Jr., but needed something wilder for the punk rock scene. Gene Simmons, born Chaim Witz, took on a new identity to match Kiss's flamboyant stage image. Sting, once Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner, earned his nickname from a yellow and black sweater he once wore. Neo, born Schaefer Chimere Smith, crafted a futuristic, smooth stage name for the R&B world. Pitbull, whose birth name is Armando Christian Perez, chose a name that symbolized tenacity and loyalty. Ludacris, originally Christopher Brian Bridges, created a name that matched his outrageous style and lyrical flow. Hulk Hogan, born Terry Gene Bollea, built a legendary wrestling career under his power-packed stage name. John Legend's real name is John Roger Stevens, but a poet friend called him Legend, and it stuck. Joaquin Phoenix was born Leaf Phoenix, a unique name he used briefly before reclaiming his birth name. Snoop Dogg, once Calvin Cortazar Broadus Jr., embraced a nickname from his mother and made it iconic. 50 Cent, born Curtis James Jackson III, chose a name representing change, rebellion, and self-reinvention. Drake, originally Aubrey Drake Graham, kept his middle name for a clean, memorable music brand. The Weeknd's real name is Abel Mackin Tesfaye, but he dropped a letter to stand out online. LL Cool J, born James Todd Smith, turned ladies love Cool James into a legendary hip-hop name. Ice Cube, whose real name is O'Shea Jackson Sr., earned the name from his older brother. Michael Keaton, originally Michael John Douglas, changed his name to avoid confusion with another famous actor. Jamie Foxx was born Eric Marlon Bishop, and chose a neutral stage name to get noticed in comedy. Elton John, once Reginald Kenneth Dwight, created a glamorous new persona for his legendary music career. Nicolas Cage's birth name is Nicholas Kim Coppola, but he changed it to avoid nepotism in Hollywood. Vin Diesel, born Mark Sinclair, adopted a high-octane name that suited his action-packed movie roles. Bruno Mars was originally Peter Jean Hernandez, but chose a catchy, cosmic name to match his funky style. Thanks for joining us till end.